Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Random live stream on Schmalentine's Day. Schmalentine, Valentine. No warning, just turned on the live stream. Let me see if I get any kind of chat on there. I don't think so. If you're joining me, let me know. Go to my other thing here to see if anybody's here. And let me see here. Hello, hello. If anybody's here, let me know. Hello, hello. Anybody here? Hey, Gingy's Life, hello. Happy Schmalentine's Day. Element, hey, hey. Hey, hey. Random live stream. I thought I'd see if anybody wanted to have a read, if you will. You will have a video tomorrow night. It's already uploaded. It's about an hour long. Twisted Love Stories, if you didn't see that notification already. I'm on my way home from work. Oh, cool, cool. I've already got some stories lined up. This title of this is People Share the Times. They had a bad feeling about a friend's significant other, and they were right. Hey, Phantom Zone. Hey, tall guy. Hey, hey. Happy Schmalentine's Day. Are you coming in, Schmalentine? My Valentine's gonna join us for Schmalentine's Day. I heard people call it Galentine's Day. No. No. Schmalentine's. How long should I wait to see if anybody will come in? Anybody else? We've already got enough people here to start, don't you think? We're just going to hit it right out of the park. Right out of the park. People share the times. They had a bad feeling about a friend's significant other, and they were right. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? Number 1 here. I didn't say how many, but this is numbered, so. This is titled, He Set Off Danger Bells. When he tried to pick fights with me in order to separate me from my cousin. We were in our mid-teens. He looked 17 or 18, very clean cut, geeky in a boy band sort of way. You know, the sensitive one with the glasses. He was well-mannered, respectful to our moms, but he seemed predatory to me. I know exactly what this person's talking about. Everybody likes him, but you just get this vibe that they are not the good guy. Anyway, I didn't have the best people around me growing up, so I learned to recognize potential threats early. Okay, this is why. And this guy set off my danger bells. Just small things, like watching too closely to see how people reacted to him. And the way his smile never reached his eyes. Ooh, that's creepy. I wasn't rude, but I didn't fawn over him either. Once he realized that I wasn't charmed by him, he started avoiding me, telling her he didn't feel comfortable around me, and she'd have to see him alone. He tried bullying me anytime he saw me, while still bragging to me that he was her protector and her white knight. Found out a few months later that he was actually in his mid-20s and had a record for stalking underage girls. Too bad we didn't know this before he gave her herpes. Ew. Gosh. He had to be gross too. Like the whole thing, he was just gross. Ew. Oh. Well, that's a heck of a Valentine's present, I think, don't you think? Here's some medication for the rest of your life. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, really. This one, number 2, he tried to grind on me at her birthday party. Oh, I've heard this probably at this point in my life hundreds of times from girls. And it's either like at work or like at school or something where somebody's like A friend of a friend's boyfriend did this. So, ew. Let's see here. Can you guys hear me okay? Is it cutting out? What do you mean what happened? Oh, hey, Pooh Bear. Hey. The guy in the last story, is that what you mean, Element? I'm going to move on. I'll come back to that. This one says, he tried to grind on me at her birthday party. This is number 2. The first time I met him was at her birthday party. This is someone else telling these stories. Obviously, it's not my story. He shook my hand and then proceeded to try and grind on me in front of her and her family. Then when I called him out on it, everyone said I was the problem and was just jealous. Yeah, that's what they always say. A year later, it turns out he had been cheating on her continuously and had gotten 2 other girls pregnant while dating her. Oh, sweet Christ. Oh my God. Gross. Sharing is caring. Yeah, caring about everyone but the person they were dating, apparently. Oh, this one's a doozy. It's quite long, so. This is number 3, and it's titled The Saga of Lauren the Selfish. Oh, God. All right, it starts out, the year me and my now ex visited my best friend for Thanksgiving. This is a fairly long story, by the way, so buckle in, folks. You might want to go get a snack or a drink. I guess it's not that long. It's just like maybe 5 minutes of reading. I don't know. Okay, I tell this story to people all the time because she's just an awful human being. And this story was just a perfect example of it. 2009. We traveled from South Carolina to Orlando to stay with my best friend, Tom. This was my friend of 22 years at that point, and his then girlfriend, Lauren. We decided it was too expensive to fly up to New York to see our families, so we drove down a few hours and to have a friend's Thanksgiving. We used to be roommates, and he's a badass cook, so we figured, let's just do this. So he and I spent all day shopping, cooking, etc. Dinner rolls around, so we have the usual spread: turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, rolls, and it's all sitting on the counter. We go in the living room to get the girls. Lauren comes in. Lauren goes into the cabinet and pulls out 3 to 4 large Tupperware containers and says, hang on. Nobody take anything yet. I need to make sure that I have leftovers for work this week. She then proceeds to take about 60% of each dish, leaving it so everyone has extremely small portions with no options for seconds. Okay, what? She also takes about 85% of the white meat because reasons, puts all of her Tupperware in the fridge, and then grabs a plate. From the already small amount remaining, she takes about half of each dish and slops it on her plate and walks back into the living room. My girlfriend and I look at each other, take small plates, and go sit down. My best friend was visibly upset but didn't know what to say. Oh, I know what you could have said. Literally anything. Anyway, Lauren eats about half of her food and then proceeds to throw what's left of her plate out. Whoa, what? Okay, now to clarify, Tom has the biggest heart of anyone I know. He's also a big guy, 6'5", who has a heart of gold and would give you his extra large shirt off his back. Why he was with her, I have no idea. He had a good job, making a decent salary. She wasn't a large girl, average build, working at an architectural firm doing 3D renderings. Fairly book-smart girl. Not starved for money. This is important for the story, apparently. I really wish that was the end of this, but let's fast forward to the next morning. Tom decides he's going to make some turkey soup with the leftover carcass and meat. Yum. Big giant pot, lots of goodies inside. Now, at the same time, in between watching the soup, he had been browsing Craigslist for an Xbox 360 and came across someone who was willing to meet that day. So he puts the soup on low. We all decide to go out and get this Xbox. Lauren says, oh, I'll get it for you as an early birthday present, and I think, wow, maybe she isn't so bad. So we go out, buy the 360, head on our way home. We're about 4 minutes from home, and Lauren is hungry. She says she wants a double cheeseburger from McDonald's so she can dunk it in her turkey soup. Tom argues that the food is ready. We can see the driveway. But she makes me go to McDonald's so she can get a double cheeseburger. Okay, she's the only one who gets something, and we go home. She rushes to the kitchen, gets an enormous bowl of soup, and proceeds to take a large ladle and scoop from the bottom. Fills her bowl with most of the goodies and little soup, leaving mostly broth for everyone else. Goes into the living room, sits down and eats while we stand there dumbfounded. Almost there, I promise. We make our soup, sit down, eat. Tom wants to set up his Xbox. Lauren doesn't really respond. She's dunking her burger in soup. Stuff in her face, so she gets up, fires up Dragon Age, just playing around with it. Lauren has now had enough soup, which, by the way, is her burger and about 3 spoonfuls, so she gets up, throws about 75% of her meal away, then walks over to the TV, turns off the Xbox and says, okay, you played enough, I want to watch TV now, and ends with, well, because I bought it for you, I can decide when you can use it and when I want to watch TV. Mind blown at this girl. The next day couldn't come quick enough. Okay, he really could have summarized that story. But there's no way I or anyone I know would put up with that.
The X in Xbox 360 means ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend 360. Oh my gosh. I don't understand how people would just watch that happen and say absolutely nothing. Especially when you had people drive. Was it drive up or drive down to meet their friends? That's ridiculous to me. That makes no sense. If she threw a fit, I'd tell her right there where it's at. Yeah, what the heck? I don't even understand. Thank goodness it said she's not with him anymore. I think I would have broke up with that person that day. That's so crazy. I don't get that. Someone said, hello, Duchess's husband.
Hello.
Can you guys hear him when he talks? Let's see here. This one's shorter, so it won't be so dragging on. This one says, number 4, he constantly tried to intimidate people. My best friend's ex-boyfriend walked like he was trying to intimidate people. Oh, I can just picture that now. Which way to the weight room? That guy?
Check it out.
And every time he asked someone a question about someone's opinion, hey, what do you think of that statue? Or do you like sauerkraut? He'd respond with their answer with, I had a feeling you were going to say that. Oh my gosh. So not only was he like walking like which gym bro, he was also like antagonizing people. Anyways, it seems harmless, but it was every single time. And if you called him out on it, he lashed out in anger. He lashed out irrationally. Roids. Yep, you're right. Roids. Roids. Hello, pizza. Did I miss saying hi to anybody? Phantom Zone. Did I say? I think I missed saying hi to Phantom Zone. Some people are just clowns. Oh yeah. Oh shoot. I gotta finish this one. Anyway, just one more sentence. I think it says, every time she tried to break up with this guy, he cornered her and wouldn't let her leave the room until she relented. And even their couples therapist thought she should leave him for her own safety after 2 or 3 sessions. Whoa. Yeah. If a therapist is telling you that in couples therapy.
For how big you are.
ASMR.
To the Canoogies.
I think it's because I grew up with a brother that I've never been in a situation where someone scared me to the point where I was intimidated to allow them to continue it. Like, remember, well, I don't know how to tell the story without giving away the person. Yeah, no. Anyways, there was someone that did try to intimidate me and try to really terrify me. But I said, well, I guess we can both die. That's fine. No. I fight dirty too. I am a clown. I hate clowns. I wouldn't have tolerated her crap. Okay, moving on. Number 5. Ain't What am I, clown? Do I amuse you? Am I funny to you? What's so funny? How am I funny? What's funny? Number 5. Ain't Rob a great guy? No. No. You don't have to ask that. You know what I mean? Like if somebody comes around and they're great, like, hey, where'd you meet that guy? He's great. No one has to ask. Just like you don't have to say, I'm a good guy. If you're a good guy, you don't have to tell people
Yeah,
that.
you gotta say something.
If you have to tell people what you are, that's not what you are.
Explain to yourself all the time. Stuff up there.
I drive a Dodge Stratus. Okay, anyway. Okay, end of the story. My wife's best friend's husband. I never got on with a guy while everyone else did. I found him to be very know-it-all. And if you had done something, he had done it 10 times better. Oh, I think we all know somebody like that. I'm sure my wife had a thing for him. It was always, Rob has done this and Rob has done that. Ain't Rob a great guy? Tracy's so lucky to have Rob. Why don't you, Rob, go fishing? Why don't you and Rob go for a beer? Oh, someone trying to force you into a friendship with someone you clearly can't stand. Awesome. Okay, to keep the peace, I would. And each time I spent time with the guy, I just liked him more and more. Something just didn't feel right about him. I ended up telling my wife that I can't handle the guy anymore and that I wouldn't have him around our home again. She called me an unsociable, jealous jerk. 2 weeks later, it came out that Rob was a raging alcoholic, mentally abused his kids, and was banging a woman down the road. And now everyone else thinks Rob's a jerk too. Yeah, Rob, you're a jerk. You're a jerk.
You're a jerk, Rob.
You're being a jerk.
Big poop face.
Hey, out, Rum. Hello. Hello. If you're a good person and you want them to know, show them. Don't tell them. I feel like I want to make shirts that say, I'm a great person. Right underneath it, put not and like tiny letters. Like, you know how they have stupid Valentine shirts and they'll be like a heart or lips and it'll say love? What I wanted to do was make a shirt that said that, but right above it, I wanted to put, I fucking love this shit, man. Or I fucking love telling people to go to hell. Something like that, but the other writing would be like super tiny. Yeah.
I want one that says, I hope you weren't expecting a ring. Love the Detroit Lions.
Okay. Football season's over. All right, number 6. He installed an app to keep track of his girlfriend. That has happened a lot lately, so get in line, everybody. When he installed some kind of app on my best friend's computer so that he could control the mouse with his phone. Whoa, okay, that's next level crazy. I think this was 2 months after I met him and about 6 months into their relationship. I thought that was really icky, but haha, it's a joke. Why do you think it's weird? About a year later, he asked her to sign into Facebook to see if Facebook was working for her. Later that day, she came over worried and asked me if I could have saved her password even if she told Chrome not to save it. Oh, if he could have saved it. Okay. We kind of bounced ideas around. No, I don't think so. I mean, unless he put a keylogger on his computer. But that would be messed up. And sure enough, that's exactly what he did. Ew. If you're that self-conscious where you have to keep track of everything that someone else, you shouldn't be in any kind of relationship. You need help. Or that means the person you're with is so untrustworthy, you shouldn't be in that relationship. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. This one's like one sentence, and it says, she felt easily threatened. The second time we met, she cornered me in the bathroom and threatened to cut me if I spoke to her boyfriend again.
Once got busy in the Burger King bathroom.
I mean, she's threatened to kill her. So, I don't know if that's the same thing as getting busy, honey. All right. Phenomenus 3. Let's make an electronic music band. Electronic.
Electrified.
Boom, boom, choom. Number 8. He would lecture her for having fun. Oh, what a wonderful person this sounds like. Whenever she would be having fun, he'd pull her to the side and lecture her about how she looked stupid for dancing, laughing too loud, stuff like that. Oh my gosh, just right over the head with the water, anything in my hand, face, crotch, you name it, you're getting it. Number 9, he would have a temper tantrum like a toddler. Oh, tell me you recorded it. He had a full on toddler level temper tantrum twice at a group game night. Oh my God. Once because during a trivia question, he couldn't remember the planets in the solar system. I'm sorry. No one's making anyone remember anything, but then to throw a hissy fit about it, it's wow, how embarrassing. Anyway, then in the same night, he got pissy playing Uno, threw his cards down, and stormed out. We all looked at each other and at our friend, and this was when we knew he was off. He's different, quote unquote. My friends and I were all in our mid 20s, and he was over 30. Oh, that makes it worse. So it was definitely not acceptable behavior. A couple weeks later was my friend's birthday, so we all went out for the night and ended up at our neighborhood bar. He threw another temper tantrum. I think this was over scoring for darts or something equally ridiculous. He stormed out and peeled away in his car, leaving us with no ride home. This was pre-Uber and Lyft, and none of us wanted to spend money on a taxi. So we sobered up on the 2-mile walk back to my friend's house. Wow. Wow. Everyone taking notes on what you don't do? Yet another person I'd yell to get the fuck out. Yeah, I think all these people are going to probably make you feel that way. Ew. They make me think, ew. Number 10. What are you doing? Whilst out at a university party, I ran into my friend's significant other. He was out of town at the time. She started dancing with me, getting closer by the minute. When she was about to start grinding on me, I said, "What are you doing?" To which she replied with, "It's okay. What's his name likes it when I flirt with other guys." No he doesn't. That's how the story ended. No he doesn't. What? No way. It's like you didn't even know that was that serious. Number 11. She had a skewed idea of relationships. She was super friendly, but I'd catch her looking at me out of the corner of my eye with not a nasty expression exactly, but not a friendly one either. Sort of wary. I'm also a girl, so she'd also casually say odd little details when talking about her life that made it seem like she had a pretty skewed idea of relationships and gender roles. She went to an all-girls boarding school, and even though she was 24, she was the first of all of her friends to ever have a boyfriend. She would say things like, "It's ridiculous to expect a woman to change a light bulb on her own, haha," or making out that some things were big deals in relationships when they were really not, as if she'd gotten all of her knowledge from romantic comedies. Just tiny things that wouldn't be significant on their own, but added all together really set me on edge. She ended up going full on psycho and not letting him see any of his friends or do any of the things he'd enjoyed for 2 years because she was basically jealous of every other woman in the world, even his male friends' girlfriends. It took his brother to come around and have a good long chat for him to realize she was a control freak who was ruining his life. Yeah, that's sad. That's sad. Humans confuse me. Yeah, me too. Me too. Number 12. He would only speak or answer to other men. My husband and I were helping them move. He would only speak or answer to my husband. I had an idea on how to move some stuff up the stairs, and the guy just blew me off. So I told my husband to casually mention the same damn idea, and poof, it was an awesome idea. So we had to try it right then and there. He always put her down, and she would just take it. In the end, he broke up with her because he felt she wasn't thin or pretty enough for him. Then he would get mad at her for trying to move on and try to sabotage every relationship she tried to have. I ended up ending the friendship because I couldn't stand listening to her complain about how he was treating her, and she would keep going back to him. Oh my God. That's yeah. Yeah. Oh, Element. All right. All right. All right. I'm going to hold you to that. All right. Number 13. The only time they see each other is at work. She's 20 and he's over 10 years older. 6 months into their relationship, she tells me he won't let her touch his phone but gets mad if she doesn't let him touch hers. A year passes and she's never been to his place, met his family, never met his family, and the only time they see each other is at work. That's not a boyfriend, that is a coworker, ma'am. That's weird. Goodbye, Kyle. What? Are we just assigning names? It's Chad, Scott. I don't know. Jekyll and Ms. Hyde. This is number 14. A bit of background. This was a good friend of ours and previous roommate. My mouth is trying to say this faster than my brain is, so awesome. Or maybe it's the other way around. Anyway, at this point, he'd moved out about a year and a half prior, and we'd only had internet contact with him since. It was a meetup of old friends when we went to visit home. This was the first time we, wife and I, met his newest girlfriend after his previous long term relationship had ended. She wasn't so bad, kind of giggling and goofy for him since he was a bit more serious. But fine, they seemed happy. We were out for dinner, and she and my wife go off to the bathroom. I thought this was odd since my wife is kind of a tomboy and doesn't do the whole girls go to the bathroom to do their makeup and gossip thing. But I found out later the friend's significant other invited her to ask her a few questions about our friend. After 20 minutes go by, I realized they weren't back yet. We were both tipsy and engaged in conversation, and time just slipped away. This was a small gathering of a few couples, and one of the other girls goes to check on them. Come to find out, the friend's significant other basically had my wife cornered in the bathroom, crying in her face and demanding to know why our friend had a secret crush on my wife and why he wouldn't admit it to her. Oh my God. After getting the recap from my wife, she said she had no clue if the girl was going to attack her since a few times she was apparently completely against her to the wall. Apparently, it was a mixture of my wife wanting to calm her down and also a little afraid since she was half this girl's size and legitimately couldn't get past her. Luckily, the person going to check on them snapped the girl out of it and diffused the situation. Yikes. No freaking way. But I'm just going to say, you're in a bathroom, there's a lot of weapons in the bathroom. Soap in the eye. Whatcha? What was it now? This was great timing from you? Element said he was going and you said good riddance. Oh. Yeah. I think it's all the people in the stories, but number 15, a bad answer. So we were out to dinner. I told them a story about my ex-girlfriend, how she never got a job after we moved, spent all my money, forced us to get a luxury apartment, and as soon as she did get a job, started seeing some dude at her job. I literally came home one night and found them in bed. After hearing all this, my girlfriend said, "Wow, she sounds really resourceful. She took you for a ride and got away with it. Good for her." As soon as she was in the bathroom, I told my friend to break up with her. Yeah, because guess what she's going to do? Be really resourceful. Yikes. Yikes. I think, you know what? You know how some people will date someone for a really long time and then they'll introduce them to like friends and family? I say, why not do it right away? Because if you are like close to your friends and family, their opinion matters. And I'm thinking that your significant other's probably going to have to get along with them very well, right? The last set of this stories is game night. Let's see. We invite the two of them for dinner. And he'd repeatedly tell my significant other and me that the four of us should play Do It to the End game of strip poker. He put emphasis on the word poker. Oh, he was trying to make them become swingers. I don't think so, mate. Keep your sausage to yourself. Thank you. I don't think so. Let's see. There's some stories right under this. Let's see. 22 fascinating stories from men who proposed and she said no. 26 of the worst lies men have heard from men they were dating. Ooh, this one. The proposed ones just sound kind of sad. This sounds funny. All right, let's see. 26. They're not very long, so this should be funny. Number 1, 2 different toothbrushes. I went over to this man's house, and he had 2 toothbrushes. I asked him why, because I'm nosy. He says that he uses one for his top teeth and another for the bottom. Come on, dude. That's such a lie. What? My husband's in the bathroom and he just made a comment about the story and I can't hear what he said. Anyway, found heels under his bed. When I asked him, he said he used them to change the lights. Hey, there's nothing wrong. If you like to wear heels, fine. But just be honest about it. Okay? It was number 2 out of what? So many? Busy charging his phone. Told me he was at his boy's house charging his phone, but his boy said he wasn't there. When I confronted him, he said his boy didn't see him because he was standing outside the house charging his phone through the window. Unlock the phone, please. I saw an I love you text from his notification, and when I asked him to unlock his phone, he said he forgot his fingerprint. How do you forget your fingerprint? I've gotten out of the shower and tried to unlock my iPad and it won't do it, but you just enter your code. So that's kind of funny. Finding a random necklace. I found a necklace in his room and he said it was his sister's. Then the sister came in and said, "Wow, this is nice. Can I have it?" He wanted to die. Busted. Buster. Number 6. Reminder of his journey. Found a bra in his suitcase and he said it was from when he was fat years ago. He said he had saggy boobs and kept it around to remind him how far he's come on his weight loss journey. And it's got a little dead face emoji. Oh my God. Part of an insect. I found an eyelash extension on his pillow. And when I asked him about it, he said it was part of an insect and it flew in through his bedroom window. This next one said he booked the hotel room because he needed Wi-Fi. You can literally sit in McDonald's parking lot and get free Wi-Fi. Just in case anybody actually needs free Wi-Fi. Next one, number 9 says, he said his friend that works in a hotel wasn't feeling well, so he didn't show up for work. Then he covered his shift for that day in a hotel. I was like, okay, how would they even allow that while you're not an employee there? Oh my God. These are the ridiculous lies. Oh my gosh. Next one says, my friend said she found a pregnancy test, but it was negative, and then her boyfriend said it was his. He wanted to see if it worked on males too. I mean, haven't you ever done that?
Nope.
Okay, I don't know. Comment section. Any guys actually try a pregnancy test on yourself just for, giggles and guffaws? One of the funniest damn things you've read in a while. This next one says, I remember this one hun once. Okay, anyway. This guy said this one girl said her man went quiet all night. When she asked the next morning where he said he was mopping and mopped himself into a corner while waiting for it to dry. He fell asleep. Wow, they didn't even try to Google a good lie. What's nope? Outrum? Oh, you're not pregnant? Congratulations. Everybody taking notes that likes to lie, just in case you need a good lie. These aren't it. This next one says, I went on a first date a few weeks ago, and the guy mentioned that he may still have feelings for his ex, and they may try to work it out, but he's not sure. I found the ex on Facebook, and she's counting down to their wedding in 2 months. Oh. Congratulations, ass face. The next one says, He broke up with me by saying he moved back to his home country. He kept this lie going for 2 years and would periodically hit me up pretending he was in a completely different time zone. Turns out he was 15 minutes away with his other girlfriend. Oh my gosh, how did you not run into this guy? I don't understand. This next one says, saw him in some girl's DMs, and he said he did it to prove to his boys that she was single so they could DM her. Yeah, right. My mate found her boyfriend actively on Tinder, and he said that he was looking for a long lost friend. Dead face. Yeah, because that's where I usually go, not Google, not Facebook. I think that's looking for a guy best friend is Grinder, I think. ASMR. Soste. This next one says, my ex used to get me to drop him off at his grandma's house every single time after we hung out. He said he was her caretaker for the evenings. Turns out I was dropping him off at his other girlfriend's house the whole time. Oh my god. He's going to need a caretaker now. This next one says, he told me he lived with his roommates. I spent the night, and when I woke up, I heard old people outside his door and said, oh, your roommates sound older. And he said, yeah, they're my parents. He called his parents his roommates. Nice try, bucko. I mean, just tell the truth. It's not that bad, you know what I mean? Like, especially right now, I think most people... Can you imagine if Cameron did that to us? Oh my god. No. This is my roommates. Oh my gosh. All right. This one says, found lady's perfume in his bathroom, and his explanation was, I'm just testing it on me to see if it will last long so that I can get it for you. Oh, wow. Told him I liked, this next one, told him I liked guys with animals. He came to my house with his cat. After a day and lots of scratched furniture, I realized he lied, and then it was a random stray cat he had just picked up outside and called his. It's Garbage. His name's Garbage. I've done that, except I took his cousin home and turned out to be someone else. Oh my god. Awesome. How did that go? How'd you end that? Is he limping forever? I hope so. Oh my gosh. This one says, this man wore one of those custom gold bracelets that family members gift you with their name engraved on it, but it had a woman's name. And after the third time linking who insert girl's name was, he said, I don't know, I buy and sell gold jewelry. Found out weeks later that it was his girlfriend. Okay. So you're just going to wear a random piece of jewelry with some person's name on it? No. I'd have to say, okay, bud, pay up for the furniture. Let's see. This next one said he was so good at removing my daughter's car seat whenever he was in my car, and I was so impressed. Oh, God. He said he had a friend with kids, and he did it all the time. Turned out the friend with a kid was his wife, and the kids were his. Ew. Well, not wife for long, probably. This next one says, he told me he was single. He was a single dad. Invites me over to his place. I knock, and the wife opened the door. Oh, yikes. Ew. All right. This next one says, I found out he got married over the weekend. He comes back on Monday with the ring line. I search the car, find the ring. He told me it's a dress ring, and he uses it to open beer bottles. I threw it into the Veld, told him to buy a beer bottle opener. Okay. This one says, he texted to say he fainted at church, blacked out, and was rushed to the hospital. Tried calling, even went to 2 different hospitals he was supposed to be at. Wasn't picking up calls, nowhere to be found. Turned out he proposed to a girl from his church that Saturday. Awesome. It ended real quick. Okay. This one says, so I forgot my PJs at his place and found them torn. When I asked him who did that, he said he didn't know, but he will investigate. I left and never looked back. Like, who else? Who else is going to tear up your pajamas? Him or a ghost? Jealous ghost? That's why I asked. What? Okay. Let's see. This last one, we'll pick a new set of stories here in a second. He said he couldn't reply to texts because his phone was overheating. It was December. I mean, you just turn your phone off
Now,
and turn it back on. What?
I can kind of vouch for that because
In December, honey.
yes, because what is it, February?
Don't defend this
I'm not
person.
defending him.
You're gonna
I'm
get
just
yourself into trouble.
making some theory here.
Uh-huh.
My work iPad said
iPod.
it was overheated in February.
That no. We're talking about a phone here.
Well, the phone, iPad,
Hey.
it's an electrical device.
Hey. What? Since when does an iPad overheat
I
anyway?
don't know.
You got a defective one at work.
I don't know.
That's convenient for work. Maybe this chat censors swear words? Oh, I don't know. Why? What did you say, Peter?
What the frig?
What the frig, Julian?
You said earlier something about supporting his music.
Who?
If he made a band or something like that.
What?
If we listened to his music, if he made a band.
Who?
Peter. I'll totally support and listen if you name the band a little bit of Peter.
What? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Chat thing.
We're light years ahead of that now. You're gonna have to go back now. My brain has moved on. Light years
Sorry.
ahead. Light years
I
ahead.
just read it.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Ooh, do we want scary texts from crazy exes? I know, but those are usually funny. 14 warning signs you're dating a full-blown psychopath. Inexcusable dating deal breakers from a woman's... Guys reveal first date turnoffs. Oh. No. Nice guys. Quote. Here are all the signs you're not supposed... I don't understand that. The most inappropriate times men asked women out. This sounds funny. Look, it's got a picture of the guys from Dumb and Dumber in their tuxes as the story's headliner. Cousin turned out to be someone else, and I asked mother effer. I don't censor it in mine. If you type that out, it won't show it to me. Did that really happen, Peter? She turned out to be who he was sleeping with behind my back. Oh, beautiful. We'll go back to the psychopath one. This is the most inappropriate times men ask women out. This should be pretty funny. A paramedic who saw her in a trauma unit asked her out. I came with my grandfather to the trauma unit of our local hospital. The guy I kind of know from my partying era but never showed any interest in was a paramedic there. He messaged me through Facebook and asked why I didn't take off my coat and give them something to look at. Ew. And asked me if I wanted to have sex in the ambulance. Beyond gross and absolutely inappropriate. How I got out of the situation, I told him I would report him to his supervisor because this crossed all lines. Yeah, what? Who says that? Wow. Baby daddies at the maternity ward asked the receptionist out. I worked the reception desk on a maternity ward in a hospital. Plenty of baby daddies find my customer service demeanor to be a green light for their affections. Gross. Oh my gosh.
Mama, if I have this kid, you want to go out?
Ugh. Number 3. Yeah. Get right on that. Ew. Exactly right, Genji's life. Ew. A car mechanic offered her under the table repairs at the shop. Yeah, I bet he did. I once had a mechanic get my number off the RO repair order and text me offering under the table repairs with no effort to disguise the innuendo. I freaked out because that repair order had all of my personal information on it. He knew what I drove, and he knew where I worked. Handled it by completely ignoring the text and watching over my shoulder for months afterwards. Also had my boss mention it to their shop foreman because our businesses would send each other customers, and God only knows who else he tried that on. Ew, that was kind of scary. Ew. On a scale from 1 to ew.
You played my 2
Oh, gross. What's that called? My tools are all pro bono. Wink, wink. He asked her for gas money, then a date at a gas station. I'm not sure if a gas station qualifies as an inappropriate place per se, but the way this happened seemed really inappropriate at the time. A man walked up to me while I was busy holding the pump, which is already kind of uncomfortable spot to be in, especially at night. And at first, he just asked for gas money. Okay, no big deal. It happens. I told him I had no cash, and he went back to his very nice new looking truck. I thought it was a bit weird, but continued pumping my gas, minding my own business. Less than 30 seconds later, less than 30 seconds later, he walked back up to me and told me I was really beautiful and asked if he could at least get my number and started begging me to go on a date with him. He said that he would pay me money for a date, even though he just asked for gas money. First, it was 500, and then it escalated to 1,000. And after I said I wasn't interested, he begged one more time. Just one date, please. Just go on one date with me. I gave him a final no. Finished pumping my gas and hurriedly climbed back into my car to leave. The situation was very uncomfortable, and I don't particularly like being approached when I'm in a vulnerable situation. Ultimately, I learned that talking loudly, saying no with some force, and looking them dead in the eyes tends to help in escaping the situation. If I had been more timid and tried to be nice, I have a feeling it would have been a lot harder to get rid of him. Ooh, I thought these would be funny, but I mean, some of them are, but yikes. Let's see. The swear word shows to me because I typed it, but I just checked incognito and it doesn't show where I typed it. The uncensored version. Wow. Oh, if you are a girl, Gingy, the joke does not work as good. Oh, wow. What? What? What joke? I'm lost. Okay, anyway. Her Uber passenger asked her out. I'm a young female Uber driver and have the same problem, but on the other end. I have to pick up drunk guys, and they'll be so inappropriate with me. It's very frustrating. I had to start carrying pepper spray at night after one guy had me drive him out to the middle of nowhere, and then he wouldn't get out of my car. I've also had guys give me low star ratings because I wouldn't give them my number. Lord. This one is the dad whose kids she babysits asked her out. So I've had several guys try to set up a date while they pick up their squirmy toddler from the daycare I work at. Normally, I just tell them their kids probably need their attention. I also do a lot of babysitting for most of my customers, just the parents whose kids go to my daycare. All of them have my number. A couple of dads have tried to get flirty, texting. For that, I'll just start a group chat with both mom and dad, and I'll be like, we can continue our conversation here, Mr. So-and-so. Oh, that's brilliant. I've had a couple weird things happen when parents come home for their date nights, too, but I don't want to make this post too long. Okay, well, it would have been better. Anyway, this next one says, she received numerous propositions at funerals. I've been catcalled and propositioned at multiple funerals. What's even more bizarre is the number of acquaintances who try to justify this behavior to me when I complained about it. What? Why? What? No. Just no. Is anyone learning here? Anything new? The gas money story reminds me of panhandlers, which then reminds me of a guy around my town that had some hilarious signs, including spread some cheese on this broke cracker. Haven't seen him in years. The one where the cousin turned out to be someone else. One possibility is his mother, hence I asked mother. Oh, ew. Yikes. Let's see. He asked her out while she was cleaning up vomit. My personal favorite was being told, "You're the thickest white girl I've ever seen," by an equally white man while I was. Oh, by an equally white man while I was cleaning up a puddle of vomit in the convenience store where I worked. Honestly, just being asked out for my number at work, don't do it. Ask as for getting out of it, I use my face as if you stare blankly at someone long enough, they'll typically just leave. When someone asks, and this goes for guys or girls, if someone asks you something really like, I guess it doesn't matter what category, if it's demeaning, if it's disgusting, if it makes you uncomfortable, ask them to repeat their question multiple times until they stop. This works. It'll work on anybody. I swear to God. If it doesn't work, you can tell me that I'm wrong. But I swear it works in any situation. If someone is being a jerk to you, if they're being disgusting to you, if they're making you uncomfortable, make them repeat their question. This will work for a boss, too. I'm just saying. Make them repeat it. What? Bye, Outrun. Bye. Bye. Let's see. He asked her out while she was in Trader Joe's while she was pregnant. Maybe a month ago, I was very obviously pregnant, and this very odd guy told me that if it didn't work out with the baby's father, he'd be there for me in Trader Joe's, of all places. I laughed, trying to pretend he was kidding to break the weirdness, but I don't think he was kidding. He said thank you and walked on. Ew. Wow, that was pretty bold. Just assume. A lot of assumptions. This one says he approached her in the feminine hygiene aisle at the store. Toss up between feminine hygiene aisle and the man who waited for me outside the bathroom door at work. I told Ragman you can't. I told Ragman you can't. Tampon Tom. You can't be serious about asking a stranger for her phone number in the tampon aisle. And he stomped off. Told bathroom buddy to screw off, and he went to HR to complain. Fortunately, I had cameras to support his lurking, which he'd apparently done for a week before trapping me. I waffle between I'm married, no thank you, and I'm not interested, depending on how vulnerable my location is and how intimidating he is. Just say, pardon me? Excuse me? What'd you say? Ingenious idea. I'll face to try it. Too funny. Oh yeah. He knocked on her He knocked on her window while her car was parked. Darn chinur. Recently, I have been approached twice while parked in my car by men knocking on my window, asking my number. It was pretty bizarre, and if I could do it again, I'd tell them to screw off in the most colorful way possible. But in the moment, I was so taken back, I just humored them and waited for them to get the hint that I wasn't interested in dating a window knocker. Talking to my coworkers about their weird experiences got me wondering how many other people have stories like this. Well, a lot, apparently. A TSA agent she frequently saw turned up at her workplace uninvited. I flew through to and from a specific city twice a week for work, and one of the TSA agents got to know me, so we'd exchange brief greetings whenever I came through his lane. I usually had on some type of logo clothing on that was pretty easy to tell where I worked. Come on. Where was I? My dog was going down the hallway. I got distracted. Sorry. Let's see. Pretty easy to tell where I worked. One of my trips into that city to work, he showed up uninvited at my office with a creepy love letter and tried to ask me out. It was really weird and unsettling, and I made sure to avoid his lane at the airport from then on. Ew. Ew. What did you say?
Will you please go out with me? TSA guy.
Sylvia thinks I'm sexy. Cecilia thinks my psoriasis is sexy. Okay, anyways. Tampon time. Her Uber driver asked her out. And I've heard so many bad stories about this. An Uber driver asked me out while I was alone in his car at 2 o'clock in the morning in an unfamiliar city. I played along, asked him to drop me off in a well-lit area, and gave him a fake phone number. Yep. Contacted the Uber's customer support people as soon as I got to my hotel. There's a guy on TikTok that made up these cards for you to hand out to people that you don't want to give your phone number to. and it's got his phone number on it. So when you call it, you get this guy. I accidentally made up a romantic Valentine horror story. Y'all want to hear it? Yes, please type it away, Peter. A client asked a CPA out while she was auditing his workplace. Ooh, that could have made things much worse. I'm a CPA, had a few lunchroom conversations with a much older man. Be polite, etc., since you're at the client's location. I think the most in-depth thing we talked about was the weather. And somehow, for him, this triggered a "this person likes me" response. He asked me out. It's just an unspoken rule that you don't ask out the auditor. I played it off by saying I was in a relationship, but mostly I just wanted to get the heck out of there. Luckily, it was our last day in the field, so I didn't have to face him again until the next year. Super inappropriate. Ew. He asked her out while she was filing for divorce. And it's like one sentence. It says courthouse while I was filing for my divorce. This guy asked her out in front of her parents. There are no methods. Close your eyes. Let the cringiness flow through you and wait for it to pass. Again, if Mike, say your parents, you want to go out with me? And what do you say? You're supposed to say, what'd you say?
What'd you say?
You want to go out with me?
What'd you say?
See, if I have to keep repeating it, then I feel stupid. Not really, because we're married, but I'm saying it'll work for anybody. It'll work. The guy whose car she hit asked her out. I rear-ended a guy, and he asked me while standing in the middle of a busy highway between our cars. Good Lord. Good Lord. Have we already been reading for an hour? Oh, I guess so, yeah. All right. What was the one everybody said they wanted me to read, but the red flags you shouldn't ignore? What about that one? Scary text from crazy exes? Was that the one that you wanted, tall guy? Let's see. All my texts are from crazy exes. Oh, 14, the psychopath one. 14 warning signs you're dating a full-blown psychopath. Ooh. All right, let's check that one out. Let's see if it's worth the hype here. It's got Christian Bale as the person's face for it from that movie Psycho. Uh-oh. Oh, it looked like it was rendering for a second there. Is the internet working? Because this thing is not... It's not loading the next story. And the thing's just spinning. Is this working? Is the internet working? Do you know? Oh, okay. You can hear me. Okay, so my iPad just isn't letting... my iPad just isn't letting this story load. Okay, it doesn't want me to read the psychopath stories. Fine. We'll find something equally gross. It's not loading the rest of them either. Why? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, honey. Okay, now this really isn't loading. I don't know if it's just the iPad or what's the deal. You guys can hear about the story. How about me? I looked outside today and my dog had a squirrel stuck to its face. I went into the bathroom to fix my hair and heard yelping. And I look outside and my dog is walking backwards, flinging her face left to right because a squirrel was stuck on it. This isn't working. Like, I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm gonna have to, like, see if I can reload it. Come on, Safari. Safari. Oh, there it is. All right, we've got it. All right, this says, these are 14 warning signs you're dating a full-blown psychopath. Okay, I don't even need to read this to let you know that if someone shows up at your house unannounced, banging on your door, like, number one, I think that's it. Okay, I have to do line by line. I'll say when it's over. Oh, great. Line by line. Yeah, because I think there's only so many characters that you can type in there, right? Okay. 14 warning signs you're dating a full blown psychopath. So if you have a date tomorrow and they do any of these things, get out of there. Go to the bathroom. Just get out of there. I don't care how much. You don't owe anybody anything. If you're on a first date, did you drive them there and you're in the middle of nowhere? Okay, maybe take them home. Unless they tried to stab you with a knife at dinner. No. Okay. I think first dates, and here's a really good one. Since you don't know these people yet, this goes for men or women. If you're going on a first date, both drive separately and meet there. That way you can get out of there. You're not obligated. You're not trapped. Okay? All right. Stay safe out there, everybody. All right, here we go. Ding, 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 ding. They stay friends with their exes. Okay. This studies show. So this is science. It's science. It's science. See, when I say things like that, I wish I had a big bushy mustache so that I could be like this, curl my lip. It's science. It's science.
And that right there is the very first time I heard a lady say they wish they had a big bushy mustache.
I'm jealous of the fact that men can grow bushy mustaches because you can use them for so many like expressions. My hair doesn't grow very much like face. I don't have like I never have had to get my eyebrows waxed. Now, karma is a bitch and I know that, so I don't want to get like too braggy about that. I'm blessed in that area. But as a joke, I have repeatedly tried to grow out my armpit hair so I can braid it and beat it, and it never ever works. So if anybody can do that, will you please do it and then send me a picture? Because I really want to see that. Because it sounds hilarious to me. Oh my God, Peter's dominating the chat with this story. All right. This study showed that psychopaths like to stay close to their exes. Don't make the mistake.
Is that a stick song? He says babe a lot.
I'm not reading that. I'm reading this. I don't know what you're talking about, babe. Don't make the mistake, however, of thinking that they are emotionally attached. Rather, psychopaths keep their ex-partners around so they can use them for sex, money, or other resources. Basically, if you're sitting with other is friends with their ex and constantly has that person up for rides at the airport, you might be in trouble. You might be in trouble. If you're always the one to apologize, psychopaths don't think that anything is their problem. It's difficult for a psychopath to accept responsibility for anything, which makes for a very frustrating relationship. To make matters worse, they also don't feel remorse. So if they kill you with a hammer, they're not going to be sad. If you're in a relationship with a psychopath, you may find yourself apologizing for things that aren't even your fault, trying to convince your partner to own up to something that they were never will. Never. They've been married more than once. If your previously married partner is head over heels and demands that you two tie the knot to seal the deal, think twice. Psychopaths tend to have multiple brief marriages, and a serial spouse is a bad sign. Dun dun dun. I'm starting to question the science here. They're constantly bored. They could have ADHD and not be a psychopath, okay? Let's see this. I want to see this. I'm going to look up the scholarly linked articles on this. I don't know if this is based on science. It's from a ranker, so I don't know if I trust the source. They're constantly bored. I'm bored, but then I find something for myself to do. Psychopaths are never interested in anything for very long. Okay, we're going to skip that because a lot of people have undiagnosed ADHD, so we're moving on. They don't have any long-term goals. It's important that two people in a relationship have similar goals. However, this is pretty much impossible with a psychopath and a mentally healthy person. A psychopath's goals are based on control and manipulation of people and specific circumstances. Plans that do not extend beyond acquiring immediate resources and favors from others. They have no long term goals because once they've gotten what they need from one person, they simply move on to another. They exist in a cycle, not a timeline of personal growth and development. All right, that sounds legit. They aren't sympathetic or genuine. Emotional connection is one of the most important elements of a relationship. This, however, is impossible if you're in a relationship with a psychopath. Despite their incredible ability to charm, psychopaths often come across as being shallow or aloof. Aloof? Aloof. Aloof. Due to the fact that they can only relate on a superficial level. Their lack of emotional depth prevents them from being an empathetic and caring partner. Ooh. They lie about things that don't matter. Okay, now this I think is a really important one. If your partner is constantly lying, they may be doing it in order to stay entertained. Psychopaths feel no remorse for lying and need to constantly manipulate their environment in order to stay engaged, as they feel no emotional connections. That's okay, because it sounds like they probably will end up in prison altogether at some point, because if you don't have any emotional connections, then harming others isn't going to be a problem for them, right? I feel like they're going to put themselves in a situation where they're going to become harmed or harm someone else in one way or another. Anyway, this means that they will lie about completely trivial things just to feel a sense of control over others. That's gross. Narcissists do a lot of this too. Oh yeah. They're also very charming. Psychopaths are not social outcasts, nor are they incapable of finding relationships. In fact, psychopaths tend to be very charming and socially adept, making them attractive to potential partners. A psychopath partner may be unusually good at making people like or agree with them, and they rarely appear awkward. Of course, you shouldn't assume that every charming person you meet is a psychopath. No, but you know what? Tuck it in the corner of your brain. Okay? Just try to notice if the charm is all superficial. You won't really know. You won't really know until down the road, which is terrible. I'm constantly talking to whoever's doing the catering or the pets. That's where I'm gonna be, by the food or the animals. Who's sitting on the couch over there and no one's really talking to them, but it's really cozy? That's where I'm gonna be. Food, comfortable couch. I don't know. I'm awkward. I can spot this too. What? My husband will be talking about sports to someone. Guaranteed. Go sports. They constantly manipulate others. When you're in a relationship with a psychopath, it can be difficult to see their deportment clearly. Manipulative behavior is the most prevalent trait of psychopathy. So if you've noticed that your partner considers their relationship with others to be a kind of game that they can play without any kind of emotional consideration, it's likely that they feel the same way about you. Yeah, about anybody. About literally all of their relationships will be that way. It's not just going to be like the person that they call their romantic partner. It'll be their friendships, their siblings, their parents. The scariest part is if they have kids. They can be violent. Yeah, I knew I'd get to that at some point. Psychopaths have a tendency toward violence for multiple reasons. For one, their lack of empathy and desire for control allows them to physically harm others without remorse. Additionally, they can have heated outbursts that result in violence, a sudden loss of their coveted self-control that causes them to lash out physically. A history of hurting people or breaking objects can be a huge warning sign of a psychopath. Let's see. Oh, I thought that was the last one. They were a juvenile delinquent. It's one of the most prevalent traits of psychopathy. Criminal behavior is more common in psychopaths, as they do not feel guilt for their actions. I had a feeling that, yeah, psychopaths tend to exhibit lack of empathy and criminal behavior early on in life. Additionally, they are far more likely to get caught at a young age before they learn to blend in effectively with the rest of the population. They take enormous risks, life is no fun without a little risk, but there are still reasonable limits. Psychopaths make massive risks that others would not. They never doubt themselves no matter what the stakes. They're more likely to abuse drugs, drive recklessly, or partake in extreme sports. Dating a psychopath means taking on the stress they can't feel about their unnecessary gambles and dangerous lifestyle. How about this? If you find out that someone that you're married to or you're in a serious, how about you just take out some life insurance on them? Okay? Because they're probably going to gamble with their life. Probably yours too, but, you know, stay 2 steps ahead. Or maybe just get out of that relationship because it sounds terrible. It sounds terrible. They're sexually promiscuous. Yeah, I figured that too. Um, Psychopaths tend to be very promiscuous. If your partner is a serial cheater, for example, there may be more than just a short attention span at play. If your partner is faithful to you or claims to be, a markedly prolific sex life in the past suggests larger issues at play. They spend your money. Uh-oh. To a psychopath, a relationship is an opportunity, not a romantic connection. Therefore, they have no problem spending your money or taking your things because it's your resources that interest them. Psychopaths will live off of your money or otherwise leech what they can for as long as possible. That sounds awful. Exactly, most criminals are psychopaths or narcissists. Yeah, I know. I told my husband, I maybe have told you guys this before, but I feel like, with the exception of people that are in for drug charges or self defense, that most people that are in prison are not in their right state of mind. Like, you know how they try to plead insanity? Well, who in their right mind would murder someone for fun? Like, that's psychotic. I feel like there should be 2 types of jail. There's no way that somebody that sold a bag of weed should be in jail with a serial killer. That makes no sense. It's not even the same psychological wavelengths. Not even on the same page there. Promiscuous can also be a thing in, yeah, bipolar disorder. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's one that says 12 signs your boyfriend is actually the devil in disguise. Are we going for that one? I want to think that they're funny, but they might be. Signs your significant other is slowly poisoning you to death. Scary texts from your exes, or let me see. Yeah. I gave a couple options there. Signs your significant other is poisoning you to death. Scary texts from your exes, or 12 signs your boyfriend is actually the devil in disguise. Anybody? Relax, it's just weed. I know. That's what I'm saying. I thought that they signed it federally that people were going to be able to get out of prison and have their records expunged. And yeah, I haven't heard anything about that, like, going forward. It's shouldn't be. I always forget, because it's legal in our state. I always forget that other states, it's not legal there, and I just don't understand it. Okay, so devil boyfriend, you got it. I was waiting for somebody to chime in. What'd you say? Diablo. 12 signs your boyfriend is actually the devil in disguise. This looks funny. It's got Zoolander, and it says he's really, really ridiculously good looking. They don't call him a handsome devil for nothing. Okay, so this is just satire. The next one says he occasionally smells like sulfur. Look, everybody farts. It's not a big deal, but if you happen to notice that your boyfriend occasionally smells like he just rolled around in rotten eggs, then you might have found yourself a devil in disguise. The Bible makes several mentions of fire and brimstone, which is used as a symbol of the wrath of the gods. But brimstone's actually just the archaic name for sulfur, which is commonly found on volcanic sites, which smell like rotten eggs. Um,
Maybe he just ate too much eggs.
this isn't. He's an excellent liar. He's manipulative. His eyes are always mysteriously red in pictures. Oh my god. This is just a satire article. Oh no. Oh no. All right, let's see what else we can find cuz we're going to have to go with the scary text from Crazy X's. Sorry, tall guy. Let's see. All right, I hope that if this isn't funny, then we're going to should I just find something funny to read? Like hilarious texts?
Yeah.
Funniest texts. How about hilarious wrong number texts or just hilarious texts? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Please hold for a moment. All right, we've got 18 hilarious texts from terrible neighbors, 20 hilarious texts from the grammar police, hilarious text pranks to drive your friends crazy. Hilarious texts from grandparents that made us die laughing. That sounds funny. Hilarious group text disasters. Hilarious stoned text messages. I'm reading that. I'm going to read that one because that's so funny. This first one says how to keep two stoners busy all night. The first guy says, "Why aren't you answering?" And the guy says, "Sorry, I dropped my phone and I can't find it. I'll text you when I find it." And the other guy says, "Okay, you find it yet?" And the other guy says, "No." "Okay, let me know when you do." Oh my god. Dude, sweet. The moment when high you realize the evils of the dairy industry. Oh my god. So this guy texts and he says, "Scientifically, it's mad fucked up that humans drink the milk of another animal when we make our own. Like, you don't see rhinos sucking up on a goat for milk. Mad fucked up scientifically." And his friend goes, "How high are you?" And he says, "Yes." Heightened perception is not always a plus. I'm watching a movie, and their friend says, "What movie?" It's about a man's wife who's brutally murdered by a serial killer, and his son is left physically disabled. In a twisted turn of events, his son is kidnapped, and he had to chase the kidnapper thousands of miles with the help of a mentally disabled woman. What's the name of the movie? Finding Nemo. If you guys haven't seen Finding Nemo, you're never going to get that. Frustrating moments when you don't fully grasp your own motor skills. This guy says, "I've never been this high in my life." And his friend says, "Can you move?" And he says, Why am I in the way?" Over text. "No, it's hi. How are you?" That's Meowvelous. "Are you high, Meow? Are you high, right, Meow?" Totally see the resemblance. Okay, I just bought the biggest Lunchable ever. Pics. And it's one of those party trays you buy in the deli section that's got like cheeses and meats in a tray. And his friend says, "That's a party tray." And he says, "It's a man-sized Lunchable. You want some?" And his friend's like, "Duh."
It's a Manchable.
It's a Manchable. You know, they should market it that way. They'd probably sell more. This says, "Do you know a turtle's only weakness?" "Oh, their slowness." "No, their only weakness is that they can't roll back when they are on their backs." "Oh, so if you tape two turtles together, they'd be unstoppable, right?" "Oh my god, be right back." They're gonna go do it. Oh no. Somewhere there's two innocent turtles taped together. "Don't say my name as anything sketchy." "Okay, man, got you." And they save their name, "Not my drug dealer," in their phone. Why clever people might not be the best high text recipients. Heh, I just put my laundry in the fridge. Sometimes I think I'm stupid. The friend says, oh, I do that all the time. Put laundry in the fridge? No, think you're stupid. What's this say? If it doesn't make sense, I'm just going to skip it. What are you doing? Laying in bed? Just laying in bed? Nothing else? I'm eating cereal. Haha, nice. What would you do if I was in bed next to you? Eat my cereal? I mean, if the cereal wasn't there, then I'd get out of bed and go get cereal. I think I've read that before, but it wasn't. That's a serial killer right there. I barely have any left. I'm crying. Why? I just tried to open a cheese stick for 25 minutes. I prayed, then got it open. Oh my gosh. Jesus, take the peel. You need to stop. I don't think these are... What about the 5-second rule? And the friend goes, right. When the food falls on the floor, the little germs scream, let's get it. While the mama germ says, no, we must wait 5 seconds. My God. None of you are my drug dealers. Okay, so meet me behind the BP station. I got the money. You got the weed? They go, yeah, go at 12:30. I just realized that I sent that to you, Dad. Do you sell weed? And his dad's like, yeah, just don't tell your mom, please. And he says, depends, can I get a gram? And the dad says, fine. Oh my gosh. I'm sitting in my bathroom taking a dump, and I look out the window as my dog walks up outside and takes a dump. Magic. And the friend says, little did you know the magic goes deeper as I'm pooping as well. Poopception. But I'm technically pooping in your past due to the time difference. And the friend goes, mind blown. I feel like this is a conversation I've had with my friend multiple times. It's usually in the morning. Whoa, Mike, I'm so high that I'm not even here. This is you, my best friend? No, Mike, you gotta listen to me. I'm floating, dude. Oh my God. Relax. You'll be fine. You're grounded. I'm what? No. Yeah, you're not floating. My God, I didn't understand what he was saying. These are funny, but they're like, we're not gonna do another set of these. Okay, because this doesn't make any sense. I'm fucking stuck. I stuck headphones up my nose, and I tried to make my mouth a speaker. How high were you? I can just see it now. Like the little earbuds up the nose. And try to like open your mouth to see if the music would come out. You know how when you make cookies and you get to that point where you have to decide if the dough left is enough for 2 cookies or just make one giant awesome cookie? And I bet that's what God did when he made Chuck Norris. He took the one giant awesome road. And his friend says, I hate Chuck Norris. And the friend says, don't say that out loud. He might hear you. Wow. Are you free? Yeah, man. But got no internet. Can I call you? I'm so high that I'm not sure if I'm walking at the right temperature, the right speed, if I'm too slow. But it's only 1. No, so it's all good. What? Okay, I'm just going to scroll on down because there's a lot of these. Like, I just scrolled past 33. Okay, yeah. Okay, wow. Okay, do we want more text ones, or are we skipping those? Because it's kind of hard to get the gist of it when I'm doing the back and forth. People who texted the wrong number at the same time. Why Grandpa is the best texter. Ew. Amazing and terrifying morning after texts. Oh, God. Ugh, I'm afraid of them. We didn't even read them yet. Oh my God. Okay, so morning after means drinking, not the other thing that I thought it was. The morning after you got drunk or something, not when you hooked up with some weirdo. The the person saved the name bro in their phone. This guy says I wasn't that drunk. I drove myself home. And the other person says, "Dude, don't even try denying it." They say question mark. I drove you home while you drove with a paper plate. I thought it was a dream. It really saddens me that cars just don't have cameras in them because we miss out on so much hilarious footage. You were so drunk last night. What? No, I wasn't. You ran up to this huge biker guy with a beard and shouted, "Hagrid, you're real!" And I said, "What did he do?" "Hugged you." That explains the faint scent of a smoke on my jacket. Okay. Dude, there's no way in hell I was that drunk. You asked your dad if he was a virgin. I wasn't that drunk. You asked me to drive you home, so the party was at your house. Oh. I'm so proud of my boyfriend. Why? 'Cause last night he was so drunk he didn't recognize me. And why would that make you proud? Because when I tried to take his shirt off to change it, he said, "Stop. I have a girlfriend." Aw. Dude, how drunk was I last night? Well, at one point I convinced you to try and bite your own nose. Then what happened? You were rolling around on the floor for an hour screaming, "It's getting away, it's getting away." I hate you more than words can express. These all start with, "Dude, I wasn't that drunk." You started petting my cat and saying, "Look how small the lion is." Meow. Huh. How's the hangover? My head hurts like a bitch. Yeah, about that. You were so drunk that when I put some confetti in your hair and told you it was a tarantula, you ran screaming toward the bar entrance and accidentally hit your head against the door. I wasn't that drunk. You went up to a semi-truck and whispered, "Optimus Prime, I know your secret." Mm. You're an alcoholic, Harry. You were so drunk last night. I couldn't have been that bad. You drew a lightning scar on your head, walked up to a red-headed girl and shouted, "Screw me, Jenny, screw me." Oh, no. Okay. Dude, I wasn't that drunk. You stuffed my cat into a pillowcase and ran around singing, "It's a pillow, it's a pet, it's a pillow pet." Oh, boy. What were you saying? I'd never get drunk. You challenged someone saying you can out-annoy him. You challenged an orange. What? I feel like I'm reading one of those really bad joke books from elementary school.
Aren't you glad?
Orange, you glad I didn't say banana? Oh my goodness. I'm all the stories that are offering me, they are not great. I had some other dating ones saved before. It's not letting me go to that. Okay. Bad dates. I had so many bad date stories that if I would have read all of them, that video would have been 2 hours long the other day.
Really?
Oh yeah. So many. Oh, that one's tragedy. We don't want to go that far. We want funny, but not like sad. We don't want sad. Oh, Annoying Orange. I haven't been on there. I haven't watched that in a long time. Disastrous. Oh, waiters describe disastrous Valentine's Day dates that they witnessed. Right up our Schmalentine's Day. Keeping it in the family. Let's see. It doesn't say how many there are, but they're numbered. So, number one is this couple was arguing very loudly at that about their problems in the relationship. One thing led to another, and then a woman screams out, "Oh yeah? Well, I screwed your dad. And the poor guy didn't even know what to say. He was so dumbfounded that he just sat there while she stormed out. Um, that's pretty bad. This says, number 2 says, from bad to worse. Ex-barista here. Hope that is close enough. Some guy on Valentine's Day came in and asked us to write on the cup, "Will you marry me?" It did not go well. She looked at the cup while he went down on one knee. She said nothing, put the cup back down, and just walked away shaking her head. He, on the other hand, got pissed and started to rant about how she should have gotten over him sleeping with her sister already. We had to ask him to leave. That's how you... What? It's not going to work out the way you think it's going to do, buddy.
Just can't get over me banging your sister.
What happened to the frog's broken down car? It was towed. Ba-dum-bum. What do you call a snail on a ship? A snailer. Anyway, that's a SpongeBob joke. This one stood up. So I once waited on a guy on Valentine's Day who was obviously waiting for his date to show up. He had to be middle-aged, 40s maybe. And this was days before cell phones, like 1997. In the days before cell phones. No, there were cell phones in 97, weren't there? But they were like pay by the minute ones, I think. I don't even know. Anyway, it was a busy night, and he kept checking his watch, and he had a rose sitting on the opposite plate, and he kept waiting and waiting and waiting. He got more and more sad as the night went on. He eventually ordered a meal by himself, and it looked like he might cry by the end of the night. I might have been a jaded and drunk but most of my early 20s, but I paid for his meal out of my own tips that night. It was one of the saddest meals I ever waited on. Oh my goodness. Why didn't someone warn them sooner? So, place I worked at was also located at the top of a 5-star hotel that had several projectors cycling through what was going on around the hotel in the lobby. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is going to be bad. There was no footage from the gym or the pool, so it was a relatively tame and never had a privacy issue. Best you'd ever get were people eating, walking around the lobby, or drinking at the bar. Anyway, guy walks in with his wife and asks to be seated in a secluded area. It's my section. I take their drink order. I take care of them. Though the husband was gone, and when I returned, I didn't see him go to the bathroom. Thinking nothing of it, I go to the bar, get the drink, and see all of my coworkers huddled around the monitor above the bar. Sure enough, I found the husband as he was underneath the table being intimate with his wife. Oh Lord. Only problem was the camera above their table had a clear view because it was situated in the corner. So now the entire hotel lobby can see it as it cycles between us in the bar laughing, people checking in, and our romantic couple dining on each other, if you get the drift. More and more people start to notice as the bar fills up. This includes back of the house staff like dishwashers and line cooks. Eventually, it also brings on my manager, who runs over to their table, tells them what happened, and they both run out mortified. But before they do, the husband tries to stand up too quickly and flips the table, ruining all the plates, while also exposing that his fly was down and his was out. He's yelling at my manager, the hotel manager, who came up when he saw it in the lobby, and the security unzipped as he's escorted out. Disaster for them, but man, they made a lot of people laugh that night. Oh my God. That is amazing. I don't even, how would you not notice that when you walked in? That is crazy. Space case, spaceman. What do you call a man in space? Spaceman. Oh, Nokia cell phones. I miss. Yeah, pretty sure that's robbery. I wasn't her waiter, but a waiter in the restaurant at the time. The couple had driven down to the city from the upstate, about an hour and a half away, to enjoy a nice dinner, night on the town, then get a hotel for the night. I'm not entirely sure, but I know she lived in Greeley and was in Denver for dinner. They get a table inside the restaurant, and from a distance, looked like they were hitting it off. I should mention this was an upscale, casual steak restaurant, not a Sizzler's. Anyway, about halfway through their meal, he excuses himself abruptly, and she begins to tear up and resist the urge to cry in the middle of the crowded restaurant. She sits there stunned for maybe 10 minutes. I hear from her actual waitress that the guy had stormed off, calling her a bitch, took her purse with him, which included her phone. After sitting there for 10 minutes hoping he would come back, she started to look desperate and began to ugly cry. How was she going to get home, pay for dinner, contact anyone? At this point, the entire restaurant staff knew her situation, and this kind of news travels very fast. Long story short, everyone in the building felt terrible for her. No one really deserves to be stranded an hour and a half away from home with no money or phone or idea as to why they were being left. The restaurant bought her meal. They also called her a cab when she was ready to go. The staff, especially the bartenders, gave her a whole lot of free alcohol after this dude left her and took her stuff. Oh my gosh, I thought it was going to be a scam. I thought like they were going to scam their way out of paying for dinner. Yeah, that's what I thought that was going to be. I guess not. Awful Valentine's double feature. Day double feature. I don't know how I just read that. Most awkward. A guy wanted to propose to his girlfriend. He came in 2 months before to book and had everything figured out. He planned to pop the question during dessert. We had champagne, balloons, sparklers, prep for the big moment. The time comes. He drops to one knee, gives a speech about his love for her. He asks her. She says no, puts the ring in her bag, finishes her dessert, and leaves. Quite possibly the most awkward thing I have had to witness alongside 200 other people. The manager gave him everything for free. He felt bad for him. Cringed and sighed every time I saw him after that. Here's the most screwed up part. One of the tills kept dropping off the network. As I was trying to fix it, I could clearly hear the conversation of the table by the waiter station. It started out sweet enough with her excitedly telling him she was pregnant. He went quiet, didn't say anything for a bit, then asked her what the plan was. She said she was keeping the baby. He said he didn't want any kids and had told her this. She got upset, said she thought he'd be happy and changed his mind when he found out. By this point, I've fixed the till, but I'm unable to step away from this car crash of a conversation, and it turns out she stopped taking the pill without telling him, thinking she could turn him around. He said he knew she could be a little nuts sometimes, but this was next level. He told her it was over, and she could send someone to collect her things, as he wanted nothing more to do with her. He called me over to pay the bill and just left. The guy never even shouted. He just calmly went, "Screw this," and noped out of there. I couldn't even look her in the eye. Just left her to leave in her own time. Whoa. That's not a bad date. That's a bad life choice. I'm just going to decide for everybody what's going to happen here. Oh, yeah. Yikes. Tinder trauma. A couple sitting at the bar were enjoying their night out. The man got up from his bar stool and left for the bathroom as his girlfriend was alone and absolutely wasted at the bar. A random woman approached and revealed that she recently matched with the woman's boyfriend on Tinder and had hooked up with him a week earlier. The drunk girlfriend refused to believe the story, so the woman showed her his Tinder profile and their conversation. The boyfriend returned to a drunk, sobbing, and screaming girlfriend. I felt like I was watching a reality TV show. It was incredible. The poor girl was basically carried out of the bar by her boyfriend of 3 years, whom she just discovered had been cheating on her for who knows how long. It was the most dramatic moment I have ever experienced, and it was absolutely none of my business. Thank God you did it in public. Just terrible, man. People are terrible to each other. This one's titled, "The Stakes Have Never Been Higher." The story is my wife's, not my own. but I've heard it so many times I felt like I was there. So we both waited tables in college, and she happened to work for a very nice romantic Asian Southern fusion place in town. Valentine's Day was overbooked, of course, and one table, a guy and his date, had to wait about 20 minutes to be seated. He's bitching already, and they're seated, so she knows this is going to be extra fun, one of the busiest evenings of the year. They order. He insists he wants filet mignon, well done. Person of good taste, right? Anyway, she places the order and asks and continues on her way. Food comes out. Guy's very upset that the filet is still slightly pink in the middle. My wife pulls the plate and assures him the kitchen will correct the error. She takes it back. The chef says, okay, we can handle that. Hands it off to Grill, who refires it. Plate comes back out 5 minutes later. Guy's even more irate. He can still see pink. Sends it back once more. Chef is done with this guy and has Grill turn the damn thing into a charcoal briquette. Expo runs plate out to the table ASAP. As it's being dropped, my wife is talking to another table on the other side of the room, reviewing the wine list. Guy takes the burnt steak in his hand, stands up, and throws it across the room at my wife while yelling about how terrible the service and chefs are. Dead silence in the room. All eyes are on this guy. The guy's date is starting to tear up. He yells again about not paying, grabs his date's arm, and leads her out of the building. I hope that lady made it home safely because that guy was crazy. Wow. I would like to know everyone else's craziest date stories because this is riveting. He meant to say honey. A few years ago, I had finished my shift at a pub I was working at and sat at the bar with a drink. There were still a few couples sat in the restaurant, but the boss let me clock off early. I had a pint before leaving, and at a table nearby, it sounded like a proposal was about to happen. A few people went quiet listening in, then it happened. The guy says, Hannah, will you marry me? He was kneeled in front of his girlfriend. Her sat down, says, Hannah? Who's Hannah? She yelled, threw a drink at him, and walked out. Guy paid and walked out looking very red. Fill your name in the blank here. Will you marry me? Number 10. Back when I served food at one of those super touristy seafood restaurants, I worked a Valentine's Day double shift for lunch. Oh no, I worked a double shift on Valentine's Day. And for lunch, this younger couple came in celebrating their 1 year anniversary. I offered my congratulations and proceeded to do my usual spiel before taking the orders. The girl is looking more and more dismayed the longer I talk. Finally, I get to the end and ask if there are any allergies, and she looks directly at her boyfriend and says, yes, I'm allergic to fish and shellfish. Then looks over at me very sad. I made sure every aspect of her meal was fine for her, but it was that look of, we've been dating a year and he still takes me to a restaurant that could kill me? Oh man. He just went ahead and ordered his food. He didn't even look at her when she said it and just kept perusing the menu. Wow. Yeah, I hope that was the last happy 1 year anniversary. Oh my gosh, remember? Okay, we used to go to Goodwill and get random things, and my stepdaughter got this one stuffed animal from Goodwill. We bought it because when we push it, and we found this out by accident, when you push it, it was this girl's voice and it said, happy 1 year anniversary, honey. And it was at Goodwill. And so we had it in our house for the longest time as a joke, and I think the battery eventually wore out. But if you did that to your boyfriend, he didn't keep it, just so you know that.
Barely kept it.
He barely kept it. Uh-huh. You know what they say about assumptions. Number 11. This interaction took place in San Diego. This couple was sitting closely in the booth, gently touching each other, whispering, making goo-goo eyes at each other. I took his drink and then asked, what would you like for your wife? And what would your wife like? To which he promptly replied, I don't know, she's in Chicago. The lady went off. How long are we going to string me along? You promised me months ago that you were getting that damn divorce. She got mad. He got mad. I got the hell out of here. There, they stormed out of the restaurant. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't know she's in Chicago. Awesome. AC aficionado, number 12. We saw a horrible date happen between a beautiful woman and a very plain looking man. I think that's irrelevant. Anyway, where he simply would not stop talking about air conditioning repair. Anytime there was a pause in their conversation, he started right up with the AC repair and installation facts. This woman would try to steer the conversation into movies, books, Mexican food, and friends, and he would say nothing. It was very terrible and awkward to watch. You've never been on a date? That's a blessing and a curse. In this current state of the world, you're probably not missing out on much as you're listening. My wife makes it rain. Number 13. In college, I waited tables, and Valentine's Day was always a good one in terms of tips. I once saw a couple come in to eat. Halfway through the dinner, the man's wife shows up to surprise the couple. The wife took the wine bottle, poured the remnants on the husband's head, took off her ring, and told the girlfriend she could have him. He tipped me $100. Number 14, there were eyes everywhere. Small, fine dining restaurant. Man from my table goes to the restroom and is gone for a while, probably 10 minutes, which for a restaurant is a while. As I'm passing by the restroom, he's all, psst, psst, ushering me to the side and hurriedly whispering that he needs to leave through the kitchen because his wife's best friend was sat near him and his date, who I learn then and there is not his wife. We box the remaining courses up and do a walk of shame through the kitchen. He's pissed, she's crying, all while the rest of us are stifling our laughter. He ended up tipping well on the prefix, which was nice. Wow. Number 15. He tried. That's all that matters. Number 15. My wife had cold hands. She gave me the chills. Guess 'cause she was dead. Her cold, dead hands. Let's see. Old man proposed to old woman. He tried to get off the chair and kneel, tripped and fell, and I assume broke something since he couldn't get back up, and we all had to call an ambulance. My manager had to drive the woman's teeth. My manager had to drive the woman's teeth to the hospital separately because she had taken them out to eat her soup, Lord knows why, and left them on the table in the confusion. Oh my God. Number 16. Player 3 has entered the game. I was taking tables while bartending. Another probably cheater couple. Very nice couple in their late 20s sat in my section. About 30 minutes into the date, a third person arrives. Apparently, he was caught cheating and his girlfriend just busted him. She was screaming about how he ruined 2 years of her life and how could he do this to her. After leaving, the guy said they broke up a while ago and she was crazy. Also, she keyed the crap out of his truck. We offered to give him the tapes if he wanted to press charges. He declined. Made me think he was lying about being broken up. Yeah, I think so. Number 17, and she still took the gifts. I was hosting at a really busy brunch place, and Valentine's Day was our busiest day. We had a full wait list with tons of people in the lobby. When this dude walks in with this huge teddy bear and a bouquet of roses, he said he wanted to drop them off for a coworker. So I let her know he was there, but understandably she was running around, so it took a bit. While waiting, a bunch of folks waiting for tables complimented him on how sweet he was to do that for his girlfriend and how jealous they were. It was kind of cute. When my coworker finally was able to come up front, there was a lot of aw and such. Again, we were slammed, so she ran back after taking the items, and it was back to work for all of us. When it died down, I asked her how long she was dating her boyfriend, and she says, "He's not my boyfriend. He was the salesman where I just bought my car, and I think he got my workplace from the paperwork." Oh, that is creepy. Oh, creepy. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to people. That's really gross. Ew. Wallet woes. Number 18. I was working for a higher end chain steakhouse. Is it higher end if it's a chain? I don't know. You guys have to let me know. Anyway, in the northwest corner of Greater Los Angeles in the Valley, Valentine's is obviously one of the top 5 busiest days of the year for us. A younger couple, maybe mid 20s, dressed to the nines, came in shortly after we opened and were seated in a table basically in the dead center of the dining room. They were very friendly and pleasant, and I could tell that for them, dining at our restaurant was a really special treat. So I did everything in my power to make it special for them. When they're done, probably around 7, I bring their check, which was around $300. When I came back to pick it up, the guy had a super embarrassed look on his face and said he thinks he left his wallet in the car. The woman, who was embarrassed for him, doesn't have anything with her because her dress had no pockets. Oh my gosh, excuse me, and she didn't bring a purse. So he goes out and 5 minutes later comes back in looking pale as a ghost. He has left his wallet at home and asks if he can call back later with payment info. My general manager won't let this fly because there's no collateral of any sort he can leave. So the guy has to drive home to Burbank to get his wallet while this one waits. With her hair done, with her red lipstick and her pretty dress in the middle of the dining room on Valentine's Day. Now, on the best day with no traffic, never happens, it's at least 40 minutes each way from our restaurant to Burbank. She was there for almost 2 hours waiting for this guy. We were all so embarrassed for her that the staff kept discreetly slipping her drinks with little amuse-bouche bites from the kitchen. It was one of the most awkward things I've ever seen in a restaurant. When he finally got back, he was super apologetic to us and her, and he paid the check and tipped like 30% and then left. It was pretty obvious it was an honest mistake, but I still think about that couple from time to time and wonder how things worked out for them. Oh, man. I mean, that would just suck for everybody. No. Element, no. I don't even know what that's in reference to. No. Give this hero a raise. I was the manager of a wings and pizza place with a full bar. Definitely not the kind of place you'd take someone for a romantic Valentine's Day dinner, but it was still busy because some people aren't very tactful. We had a guy who called ahead and asked if we could put a ring and a dessert for him, and of course we obliged. So he dropped the ring off the day ahead. I put it in the safe in our office and kept it secure. Fast forward to Valentine's Day. The couple shows up. They're obviously in love, so she doesn't seem to notice or care about the fact that he had brought her to a middle-of-the-road place, sports bar atmosphere on the remote. Okay, that doesn't matter. Anyway, they order champagne. Well, the local winery's best sparkling white. Entrees, and it was almost time for dessert. I had used my chef skills to whip up a special chocolate strawberry tart that wasn't on the menu for this special occasion because why not try to make their night at least a little fancy? I went to the safe to get the ring and it wasn't there. It was I was freaking out. I asked everyone if they knew what had happened to it. My assistant manager on site had no idea, so I called my other assistant, who also had the safe code, and they didn't know either. Finally, my bar manager mentioned that one of the owners had been in earlier and spent a little time in the office. So I'm at my wit's end and call the owner. It turns out that he had seen the ring in the safe and thought it was something a customer had left behind. Figuring he had come into an extremely lucky situation, he decided, like the scumbag that he was, that he'd take it for himself and save money on a gift for his wife on Valentine's. So I asked the server and bar manager to help stall the couple. The server told them that we were doing something special for their big night and to hold tight. I ran out, hopped in my car, rushed to get the ring from the owner's house because he was, as I had mentioned, a scumbag and didn't want to be bothered to bring the ring back to the restaurant himself. The bar manager went over to the table, did some complimented table-side cocktail mix that had a bunch of flair bartending tricks, and ended with a flaming shot. Once dropped into the rest, made it smoke. I was really disappointed when I heard about all this because I would have loved to see that instead of breaking traffic laws on my quest to get this stupid ring. finally rushed back in after about 15 minutes of being on the brink of a heart attack, placed the ring on the dessert, and had their server take it out. And at that point, just about the entire staff was watching the table. And when we saw the look on her face, my heart finally started beating again. Of course, she said yes, and I started looking for someone else to work for the very next day. Oh my God. The chain steakhouse. I don't even. This one's nice and short. No ducks given. Busboy, Las Vegas Strip. An attempted proposal. Dude tries to set up sign with girlfriend's friend for her to show up and see the ring near a fountain. A duck stole the ring. They found it 2 hours later and he had dropped it in the fountain. She still said yes, and free drinks were given. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is the last one. 21. Service dog. Serving at a touristy restaurant about 5 years back. I had a call for a reservation including myself and my service dog. Okay, no problem. I actually like one tops even on Valentine's. They're usually nice and just want to be treated well despite having taken up a table meant for 4+ people. I agree to take it while all the other servers are complaining about the reservation only being for one. Anyway, hours later, in walks this drop-dead gorgeous woman with a full-grown man in a dog mask and full leather suit, complete with a leather tail, being led on all fours behind her. She nonchalantly gives her name on the reservation list, and so the hostess just leads her to her table. I walked up to them being super professional, and this woman orders $200 worth of random appetizers, entrees, a bottle of higher-end Merlot. Of course, there were stares. Of course, other tables inquired and or complained, but he was such a well-behaved, quote-unquote, service dog. I never mentioned it or asked questions or stared, and I shit you not, that lady tipped me 100% in cash with a twinkle in her eye as she left. 10 out of 10 would wait on them again. Okay, I want to know who would do this. I want to know who would serve them or take someone, call and reserve a table for you and your service dog that is someone dressed as a dog walking on all fours. I got to know it. Please, if anyone has the balls to do this, please let me know, because I want to see this happen in real life. I miss so much, clearly, just from reading these stories. Oh my God. Oh my God. Good to be the same thing about you guys. All right, you Valentine schmalentines. There's a video tomorrow night. It's about an hour long. Just under an hour. It's some twisted love tales. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna say thanks for coming in, thanks for dropping by, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for Terrible Love Stories. Okay? All right, and on that note, I'm gonna say thank you so much, and you guys have an awesome night. And I'm going to say bye. 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 Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for stopping by.